So now that I've got that primary support in place, I've got my beam set aside ready for pre-cutting. And to do that, all I need to do is dock a little bit off each end so that it matches the appropriate angle. And then I'm going to start stacking them into place so that they're ready for installation. As I'm working, to make things a little bit quicker, I've started out with one that's already been pre-cut, and I'm using that as a template piece to measure up all the other beams. It ends up being a really quick and accurate way of doing things. And the other thing I did is I made sure that this first beam that I'm using as my template piece was really straight, which also means as I lay out that on top of the other ones to score out my measurements, it gives me an error checking system to make sure that there's no bows or twists in the other beams that I'm working with. So to get the roofing beams up nice and quickly, I've set in place a temporary support that's only just tacked in place with a couple of nails. I've made up a spacer so that I can adjust the beams into that so that they match at either end. Then I can tack these temporarily in place, remove this, and then put in the support brackets that hold them in their permanent place. Once I've done that, I can then go down to the other end and adjust the spacing there. So I've got it visually sort of guessed at the moment, but I'll use that same spacer to get them put into their proper place. And then once again, add in the metal ties so that they stay nice and secure. Because of the strength of that structural beam up the top and the fact that it's been supported at either end, I wouldn't necessarily have to do an A-frame construction. And due to the pitch of the roof, because it's quite a low slope, I probably really don't need to add an A-frame setup to it. But because I want to have a flat ceiling on the top section there and a couple of skylights on either side, I'm adding in a beam there that's a collar beam sort of setup. Sometimes they call it a tie beam. And what that beam is designed to do is to stop the lateral tension from the weight of the roof splaying out the walls and pushing the walls out sideways. Normally speaking, you could sort of set it up in a way that it'd be every second beam across the top there, but because I'm doing it as an interior support for the ceilings as well, I'm going to have it on every beam set up there as well. This is the jig thing that I've made up for setting the beams into place. It makes life a lot easier. It's marked in the centre, which corresponds to the centre of the main support. Then all I've got to do is lift that up onto the jig. That holds it in place whilst I get everything positioned. Again, just making sure that that centre line is in the centre of this. Slide that into place. Then all I've got to do is make sure that that's level. Once I know it's level there, it's also level there. Tack it at that end, tack it at that end, and then it's ready for the final bolts to be put in place. All nice and straight. And I can now start putting in the support pieces for the roofing iron. Now that I've got all the support pieces in place, I can start working on the cross members that the corrugated iron is going to be bolted down to.
What follows is a brief construction montage. We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
So there it is, all done. The way I'm doing it is that I've integrated the pieces that I'm using as battens in between the rafters. The idea with doing it that way is that it makes it a very, very strong structure. It makes it very rigid, and it also keeps that profile just that little bit lower as well. So in the next video, I'll be tackling putting up the corrugated iron. But that's the update for this time, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.